Electric vehicles can be for everybody, in Rainier Valley and beyond. I will admit, I didn't think much about electric vehicle infrastructure until I got an electric car last year. Before I took the plunge, I thought electric cars were mostly toys for the uber-rich, and I rolled my eyes at the many Tesla Model X's rolling around town at the cost of a modest house in many cities. But when it came time to replace my aging Prius, I stumbled across listings for used electric vehicles, EV, that surprised me. The non-Tesla used EVs were cheaper than comparable gas cars I looked at. Depreciating at 56.6% over 3 years, almost 48% faster than vehicles of all kinds. Used electric cars were much more in financial reach than I had thought, despite benefiting from no state incentives whatsoever at the time I bought my car. The first Nissan Leaf I considered buying was just $8,000, as the Leafs have an even higher rate of depreciation than other EVs. So I decided to buy. And then I had to figure out where to charge it. When I looked for charging stations on PlugShare, the popular app to locate charging stations, I discovered Rainier Valley was effectively EV redlined. There was not a single public EV charger along Rainier Avenue from Rainier Beach to Mount Baker, but chargers were available throughout the rest of the city. At first, I thought it was yet another sign of inequitable distribution of infrastructure, shutting out communities of color and low-income communities, a tale as old as Rainier Valley. But as I started to ask more questions, I found it was much more complicated. Everything, it turns out, about EV charging infrastructure is more complicated than I thought. Between the city, county, state and federal government, there are a multitude of entities working on transportation electrification proposals. For Seattle's part, in 2016, the Office of Sustainability and Environment's community-led Environmental Justice Committee reviewed the city's proposed Drive Clean Seattle vehicle electrification plan. Its goal was to ensure the plan had the needs of people of color and low-income communities at its heart. The committee came up with some really promising recommendations for connecting disadvantaged communities with EV technology. Some ideas included changing misperceptions about EVs in impacted communities through marketing and outreach, creating an EV car sharing program for low-income apartment buildings, creating opportunities for career pathways in EV infrastructure, and direct income-based incentives to encourage EV adoption, and much more. Seattle City Light is now using some of the ideas in its equity-based implementation of EV infrastructure. I'll be really interested to see how these proposals unfold, because, and here's one of the complications, some folks also fear that EV infrastructure will lead to more. For more on this story, visit the news article link.